After understanding management, which is about organizing people and resources to achieve goals, the next step is to see how a business decides its direction in a changing environment. This is where strategy comes in. Strategy guides how a company responds to changes outside, like new technology, customer trends, or competition, while still moving toward its vision, mission, and objectives. In the context of business, the application of the term strategy relates to the ways the business decides to respond to dynamic and often hostile external forces while pursuing their vision, mission, and ultimate objectives. The paragraph says that in business, the term strategy relates to the ways a company decides to respond to dynamic and often hostile external forces. In simple terms, this means businesses live in an environment that is always changing. Technology changes frequently, customer habits shift, new competitors enter, and government regulations evolve. These external forces can sometimes support the business, but often they create pressure or risk, which is why the text calls them hostile. Because of these constant changes, a company needs a strategy to ensure it continues to move towards its vision, mission, and long-term objectives without losing direction. Strategy becomes the guiding approach that allows the firm to adjust its actions while still staying committed to its overall purpose. When Netflix began, it only rented DVDs by mail. But the external environment changed quickly, the internet became faster, customers wanted instant viewing, and new competitors also entered the market. These forces created pressure and uncertainty and could have threatened Netflix's business. To respond to this changing environment while still pursuing its vision, mission, and ultimate objectives, Netflix shifted from DVD rentals to online streaming. Later, when competition increased again, Netflix expanded into producing its own original shows and movies. This strategic move helped Netflix maintain its direction and protect its long-term goals, even when external forces were difficult and unpredictable. Without these responses, Netflix might have followed Blockbuster's fate. The very incorporation of the idea of strategy into business organizations is intended to unravel complexity and to reduce uncertainty caused by changes in the environment. Strategy seeks to relate the goals of the organization to the means of achieving them. Strategy is the game plan that the management of a business uses to take market position, conduct its operations, attract and satisfy customers, compete successfully, and achieve organizational objectives. This paragraph highlights that strategy helps organizations make sense of a complicated business world. When companies face uncertainty, they need a clear game plan. Strategy connects what the company wants to achieve with how it plans to achieve those goals. The line "game plan" is important. It means strategy is not random. It is a carefully thought-out way of deciding how to compete, how to win customers, and how to operate efficiently. For example, Tesla entered an automobile industry dominated by long-established companies like Toyota and Volkswagen, where external forces such as rising fuel prices, stricter emission norms, and increasing environmental concerns were creating a dynamic and often hostile environment. Instead of competing through traditional petrol or diesel models, Tesla shaped its strategic game plan around fully electric vehicles. By building a strong charging network, investing heavily in battery technology, and positioning itself as a clean tech innovator, Tesla was able to unravel complexity in a rapidly changing market and reduce uncertainty about how future mobility would evolve. This approach helped Tesla strengthen its market position, attract a new segment of environmentally conscious customers, and continue pursuing its long-term vision and objectives despite external pressures. To the extent, the term strategy is associated with unified design and action for achieving major goals, gaining command over the situation with a long-range perspective and securing a critically advantageous position, its implications for corporate functioning are obvious. Here, the paragraph stresses that strategy is not about isolated decisions. It is about a unified design, meaning all actions should fit together and support long-term goals. A good strategy helps a company take command over its situation by thinking ahead and securing an advantageous position before competitors do. For example, Google planned long-term when it invested heavily in Android. At the time, Apple's iPhone was dominating the smartphone market. But Google's long-range perspective was to create an open-source operating system that could be used by multiple manufacturers. Today, Android has over 70% global smartphone market share, showing how a unified strategic design can create a powerful competitive advantage. Another example is Reliance Jio in India. Before launch, it laid optical fiber across the nation for years, spending billions. This long-range strategy allowed Jio to dominate the market within 3 years and change the telecom industry entirely. We may define the term strategy as a long-range blueprint of an organization's desired image, direction, and destination, what it wants to be, what it wants to do, how it wants to do things, and where it wants to go. It defines strategy as a blueprint. That is a detailed plan that guides the future of the organization. Strategy answers questions like, what do we want to become? What activities will we focus on? How will we operate? Where do we want to reach in the long term? Think of strategy as a map that gives direction. Without this long-term blueprint, decisions become random. Example, Tata Group has a strategic blueprint for becoming a global leader in ethical, sustainable business. This guides their investments from software to steel to EVs. Another example, Starbucks has a long-term strategy of being the third place after home and workplace. That blueprint decides store layout, product variety, employee training, and customer experience. ICAI, ANSOF, the common thread among the organization's activities and product markets that defines the essential nature of business that the organization has or planned to be in future. ANSOF's definition emphasizes consistency. Strategy creates a common thread that runs through all activities. Whether a company introduces a new product, enters a new market, or changes its processes, everything should fit the same overall purpose and identity. Example, Nike's common thread is athletic performance. Whether they make shoes, apps, clothing, or partner with athletes, everything reflects their identity of empowering sport. Amazon's common thread is customer convenience. Whether it is Prime, AWS, Kindle, Alexa, or same-day delivery, each activity builds the same core identity: fast, easy, reliable service. Glueck describes strategy as unified, comprehensive, and integrated. Unified means all parts of the plan work together. Comprehensive means it covers all important areas. Integrated means different departments or teams are coordinated. The whole purpose is to make sure the company achieves its basic objectives: growth, profitability, competitive strength, customer satisfaction. Infosys is a good example of how a company uses a unified, comprehensive, and integrated plan to ensure that its basic objectives are achieved. Infosys brings together its technology expertise, its global delivery model, and its strong talent development system, including one of the largest corporate training centers in the world, into one connected approach. Because these elements work in an integrated way, they support the company's objective of offering world-class IT solutions to clients. In this way, Infosys shows how an organization can design, and use a single, well-coordinated plan to guide actions across different areas and move steadily toward its objectives.